We got a choice. I know I talked about this when I was on the bench in Scotland, that it's a cliche that people say, you got a choice in November, who's going to be to change the world, and da-da-da-da. And, man, in past elections, that may be true. I've been critical of these kinds of statements, that this is the most important election in the history of the country. Yeah, a lot of times that's not true. This time it is true, and it's very clear. We've laid out the case, us people in independent media, while the media is asleep at the wheel, while the media is carrying water for Donald Trump, people in this space are doing a good job, for the most part. And oftentimes it becomes a horse race. Oftentimes it's not about policy. Oftentimes I make the mistake of not covering the policy of the real world impact, not just about saving democracy, not just about preventing Donald Trump from power, not just about Project 2025, but about what good will be done in your life. What is the agenda items that have been laid out by Joe Biden? Here they are. He gave a speech, a rally speech, a rousing rally speech, good, fantastic. And they're finally starting to drill down on what they're going to do for America. In the first 100 days is traditionally, it's a mad dash, a sprint in the first 100 days to get as much done as they can. And this is outlining not only the agenda items, but the importance of this election, not just for the presidency, but for the House and for the Senate. Because without those two elements, we have a situation where Republicans can throw up roadblocks and not get shit done. They can obstruct progress, as is their modus operandi, as is their standard operating procedure. So here is President Biden. Little longer clip than I normally play. There'll be the timer. You can scan through it if you've already seen it. But these are the items that they're going to be tackling in the first 100 days. It is important that you share, find this video on Twitter, or just share this video, whatever you want to do. I think there's a thing to clip parts. If you just want to share a clip of this, you can do that. This is important because it's not just about the preservation of democracy. It's about once Donald Trump is defeated, what can we do for one another related to progress? Watch President Joe Biden.
So today I'm going to start by laying out the first 100 days of my second term. And here it is. The first bill I'm going to introduce will restore Roe v. Wade to make it the law of the land. I will sign the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. We're not only going to stop Trump and the MAGA Republicans from cutting Social Security and Medicare, we'll expand and strengthen Social Security and Medicare. And here's how we're going to do it. Press always asks how. Listen, press, by making the rich pay their fair share of Social Security. And we're going to end medical debt. By that I mean we've already made sure medical debt can no longer be put on your credit report. You can wipe out medical debt for pennies on the dollar. We're going to raise the federal minimum wage. We're going to pass the PRO Act, ending union busting once and for all. And I'm going to ban assault weapons again. I did it once, I'm going to do it again. We're going to keep leading the world. We are on climate and clean energy. When I signed the American Rescue Plan, the law expanded child care tax credit to cut child poverty in half in America, and it did. The Republicans let it expire. I'm going to make child care tax cut permanent. And by the way, it increases economic growth, doesn't increase the deficit. People can work when you have child. No, I'm serious. That's the deal. We capped the cost of insulin for seniors at $35, totaling cost. And no senior beginning on 2025 is going to have to pay more than $2,000 a year for all their prescription drugs. including cancer drugs that are $10,000, $12,000, $14,000 a year. And my second term, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make that same plan available for every single American. Again, saving the federal government hundreds of billions of dollars over time. We're going to make housing more affordable. That means taking on corporate greed and getting the rents down. We're going to build 2 million housing units and cap rent increases at 5% a year so corporate landlords can no longer gouge everyone like they're doing. We can do this. We're going to end Trump's tax cuts for the very wealthy and the corporations to make the tax code fair. I kept my commitment. I think a lot of you thought, why is Biden doing what he said? Which is, no one making less than $400,000 will pay a penny more in federal taxes. I don't know many people making $400,000. In my neighborhood, no one did. But I wanted to be clear that I wasn't going to be taxing anyone who was a working man or even close to it. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to make billionaires, we have 1,000 in America since the pandemic, pay a minimum tax of 25%. You know what? By the way, you know what they pay now? A billionaire's federal tax is 8.2%. Not a joke. I'm not making this up. Because no billionaire should pay a lower tax rate than a teacher, a firefighter, a nurse. It's ridiculous. That one thing alone would generate $500 billion in revenue over the next 10 years, allowing us to do more for child care, elder care, bring down federal deficit, and do so much more.
That's a hell of a list. It would add to an already robust legacy, a robust set of accomplishments of the Biden administration. Restoring Roe v. Wade, codifying it under law, not leaving it up to the Supreme Court. Samuel Alito, the wildly corrupt Samuel Alito, the wildly corrupt Clarence Thomas. These people who have no duty or fealty or loyalty to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Their one job that they're failing. Sign the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, protecting the right to vote of all disparate communities across the country that Republicans work so tirelessly to fight against. Expand Social Security and Medicare. Not just preserve it, expand it. End all medical debt. Raise the minimum wage. Pass the PRO Act for workers. Ban assault weapons. Ban weapons of war that lead to the piles of dead children in our schools. Lead the world on clean energy. Get us back to where we were on the path toward fighting the existential crisis to our existence as a species of global warming, of climate change. Permanent the child tax credit. Permanent $35 insulin cap. So you're not paying hundreds of dollars to just live, to save your life if you have diabetes and need insulin. Build more housing to bring down costs and invest in childcare and elder care. These are real things. In a subsequent video I'm getting ready to do, I've got a look at this. I've got like 7 bills. There's 2 or 3 more here of what Republicans are doing just in the name of Trump. Naming airports, putting his face on $500 bills. These are not agenda items. These are agenda items. These will impact your life. Having Donald Trump's froggy fucking face on a $500 bill does nothing for you. But this is what they attend to. This is what they set their power to, is pleasing Donald Trump, is kissing Donald Trump's ass. While Joe Biden doesn't need his ass kissed. He's trying to do good things for the country. Anyway, what do you think? I'd love to know. What else should be added to this list? What do you feel about this list? You can call, leave me a voicemail, 4054. And of course, as always, you can just email me, daily@dollemore.com. And again, always, you can just leave a comment below and we can have a conversation there. Also, if you appreciate what I do, you want to help support this work for $2 a month, you can click the join button, become a channel member. Go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/iDataPodcast. You can follow me on social media @Dollemore everywhere. And I will see you next time. Hope you had a great weekend. Be genuine. Take care of one another.